Alright, welcome back to Split the Party. I'm your host Steve Osborne, and today we're going to actually play through just one encounter of Cutthroat Caverns. One thing that I didn't go over last week is with the base set, the characters have no mechanical difference on their sheets. They don't have any actual difference here. There are cards in the game that have special attacks. It'll have the character's picture. So if I'm playing as Talon and I've got a card that has Talon's picture on it, I flip it over when I play it, and I'll use that ability. It actually does more damage. It's double damage. So if you get those cards and you get that effect from that, but otherwise mechanically the characters all play exactly the same. In future expansions they do change that where you can actually add some depth to the character strategy, but starting out you're just dealing with just pretty faces on cards. So setting the game up, you're going to have a stack of encounters. They suggest that for your first game or for your first couple, you put the Ripper on top because he's a real basic encounter. He is, this guy does damage to us, we do damage to him. When that is more than he can take, he goes away. So that's a good starting point, and that's the one that we're going to go through today. When setting that up on the card here, you're going to set one of these amber colored gems to his hit points. You can see on here that for a 3-player game, and I've got 3 set up, he would have 150 hit points, so I just set that there. And then you've got an encounter tracker. You do track which encounter you're on, just because as you get down here, you'll see 7, 8, 9, and 10 each have bonus prestige for whoever takes that encounter. Also at the beginning, you're going to make sure you've each got your own character card. You will draw... I didn't leave the deck out here, but that's fine. You'll draw up your 7 cards, and then you've got 6 initiative cards. They are numbered 1 through 6. However many players you have, you take those numbers and use only those. So I've got 3 players. I grabbed initiative 1, 2, and 3, and this is how you're going to determine initiative order for each attack round of the game. So just dealing these out now, I've got Orn Hammerfist going 3rd, Talon going 2nd, and Nephiedra going 1st. All right, so we're actually going to go in clockwise order. That's kind of handy. So the first thing that you're going to do on your turn is everybody is going to pick an attack card. I didn't shuffle these well. Everybody's going to pick an attack card and they're going to place it face down. You have to wait until everyone has done that. So we're each going to pick our attack card. Now when you're doing this, you want to keep in mind how many hit points he's got, where he's at currently on his hit points. Also, keep in mind you don't want to just weaken him for the next guy. You want to land the last hit. So that can be very important. If you do have any potions or any items, you're supposed to place those out at the beginning of your turn, which is why, as you see, I can say that I didn't shuffle well. Nephiedra ended up with a whole bunch of potions. So you place those out in the beginning before you start actually taking your turn. So we're going to go ahead and put down our actions, and let's see. Then, starting with player number 1, you'll attack. After you resolve your attack, you'll see if that attack has been enough to kill the monster. If it has, you take the monster, gaining its prestige points. Now, looking at the monster here, you're going to have its name, its type, which for this one is Beast, which does pertain to some cards. There are some effects here that will modify based on different creature types or encounter types, and then the amount of prestige points that you get. This will just go into a victory pile over here at the end of the game. You count those all up. So, starting with Nephiedra, she's going to turn over. She's attacking 10. Now she has a number of potions here that she could use her Alchemist Fire if she wanted to do more, to do 30 extra damage, but she's not going to kill it, and she doesn't want to help these guys. So she's just going to do her 10. He goes down to 140. This goes in the discard pile. Talon deals 40. However, he's going to hold off on that. So he deals 40. He looks, 40 isn't going to kill it. So take it down to 100. And then Orn Hammerfist also deals 40. And after 40 more, the creature is down to 60. Now, the creature is still alive. So after everyone has taken their turn, the creature attacks. With the Ripper, When a player is damaged by the Ripper, remove a card at random from their hand. And on this is called the attack matrix at the bottom. You'll see however many players you've got at the beginning of the game. You will always have your monsters based on the difficulty or the number of players at the beginning of the game. So we have 3 players. 150, and at the bottom it tells how this monster attacks. Attacks player number 2 for 10 life points. So Talon is going to take 10 life points because he was damaged by the Ripper. He must discard a card at random. So he gets rid of one of these. We're not going to bother with drawing right now. So we move into the next round. Because we're going into another round, we do shuffle up. Shuffling with 3 cards can get a little tricky sometimes, but 2, 3, and 1. Nefiedra is going first again. Now she doesn't have any attack cards. If you don't have any attack cards, you can play. You must play an action card from your hand face down. But when it comes to your turn to use it, you just discard it. It doesn't have any effect. She doesn't have a card like that, so she's just not doing anything this turn. I think I probably was supposed to draw more cards to replace these potions. Talon is going to play that one, and then Orn will play this one. So, starting with Orn, he deals 30, which takes the creature down to 30. Talon deals 20, which takes the creature down to 10. The Ripper is going to attack again. It attacks player number 2. This time, Orn is going to take the 10, but he's going to use a counter strike. Immediately after you are damaged by a creature, draw a card, which he's not going to do because I left the deck down there, and play 2 attack cards from your hand. So he plays these 2 for 30. That kills the creature. He gets the Ripper and gains the prestige. It's that simple. It's a really simple, I mean, you're just going around trying to be the one who lands the last hit, using those sneaky action cards that you've got to maybe, there was one, not on my watch, cancel any action card. So if somebody's got an action card, if he could have canceled one of those and stopped Orn from killing this, Talon could have played not on my watch, and that would have shut it down. But either one of those individually could have killed the Ripper. It's really, really simple. The cards tell you, the action cards tell you when to use them. The item cards are very self-explanatory, and the way they get used, for instance, a potion of strength. When an encounter first comes out, so when we start an encounter, people get to choose, am I going to use any potions during this? If I'm going to use a potion of strength, then I turn it to, it says, play this card face up immediately when dealt, tip to drink. Tip means turn 90 degrees. So I turn it to first round, and it says first round right there. All your attacks do double damage for the next 2 rounds. So for the 2 rounds that I've got this, I'm going to do double damage. As a reminder, if you have a potion out in front of you and it's tipped at all, at the beginning of each round, you're just going to tip it once more until it tells you to stop using it. So I've got my first round, I've got my second round. On the third round, when I tip it again, I look and it says remove. So it just tells me how to handle it right there. It's really, really easy, just a little bit of redundancy to help you remember when you're supposed to handle those. You do have potions of cure wounds in here that allow you to heal different amounts of damage. Alchemist's Fire, which can be used during your actions to deal extra damage. And then there's the Amulet of Mesmerism, or Mentalism, which allows you to have 1 extra card in your hand. Normally your hand size is 7. It's a really simple game with a reasonable depth of strategy because you're playing against and with other people. You're playing against the game and against your compatriots, opponents at the same time. I know I told you guys this before, but I really like this kind of game, and I like this game. It's fun. I'm looking forward to picking up the expansions for it and expanding. From what I understand, one of the expansions has sort of a choose-your-own-adventure style adventure system that they add into it. There's the expansion of adding abilities to the characters and making your own characters, relics and new, more powerful items that your characters can carry as you're going through the dungeon. So it's just got a good amount of game to it while not being overly complicated and weighty. This is definitely something worth picking up. I can't say that enough. I've been excited to pick this game up for a while. I'm excited to own it, and I think you guys should give it a look. But that's about all the time I've got for today. So I would like to thank our sponsors, Dual Bus Design, Excelsior Games and Comics, and Sound G Entertainment. And as always, I will see you in the Nerdverse.